Hello everyone! I'm currently in front of Firefly Field's feed room in case you don't recognize where I am. We've been doing some renovating lately, but that's a topic for a different video. Today I'm going to be doing a meet my horses type of video. Since with 3 new recruits recently joining the stables, it seemed like the perfect time to film this. You guys have seen a lot of the horses here in my previous vlogs, but you guys don't know all of their names or what they're like, so I figured I'd share. I'll be including all of the horses that I own, as well as the horses that Firefly Fields owns and uses as lesson horses. Without any further ado, let's start with the horses I myself own. First up is Teddy, or Golden Rule. He's a 9-year-old Belgian warmblood gelding and my baby. 3 years ago now, I bought him from a pretty reputable breeder in the Jarlheim area, specifically to compete in shows with. He has some pretty impressive lineage coming from generations of show horses. However, Teddy quickly became my best friend, and I'm so grateful to have him every single day. He really is just your stereotypical gelding. He's the sweetest boy and loves going on hacks. Despite enjoying the simpler things in life, he also thrives in the competitive atmosphere. 3-day eventing is something we've really enjoyed doing together, and I look forward to doing it again in a few months, hint hint. If you didn't know, Teddy moved with me from Jorvik Stables to Firefly Fields only a couple months ago, and I've really appreciated having him as a constant in my life when everything else seems to be rapidly changing. Next, I'll be talking about Bingo, who's actually one of the 3 new recruits I mentioned earlier. He's a Tennessee Walker and 15 years old. Just in case you didn't see my last video, I'll go over his backstory real quick. When his previous owner passed, Bingo was left trapped in a small stable for weeks, and when he was found, he had very little food and water left. As a result, he's a pretty traumatized and nervous horse. He'd been stuck at the Moreland Rescue Ranch for quite a while before I found him, and I'm so grateful to have been given the opportunity to give Bingo a better life. He requires a lot of patience and compassion, which is why I decided to make him my personal project horse. Bingo and I have been working on some Liberty recently, which he seems to really enjoy, and building up our confidence together. As of right now, I'm not really sure what our future together holds, but I do know that for now, making sure Bingo feels comfortable and safe here is what's most important. I would love to have more horses in the future, but those are currently the only 2 I own. All of the horses I talk about from here on out are not mine, but lesson horses belonging to Firefly Fields. This is Callisto, a 12-year-old American paint horse. Her show name is Dappled Mountain. She's such a spunky, energetic mare and a favorite around the barn. She absolutely adores being on camera, whether it's for a cute photo shoot or a vlog. The kids love her sass, although we do try to keep more experienced riders on her since she can show some attitude in the arena. Speaking of the kids, they're constantly putting little braids in her mane, which just adds to how adorable she is. Callisto's been a member of the barn for the last 3 years and was purchased from the Silverglade Horse Market. I've been told by the staff here that she was a little shy and reserved at first, but since then her personality has taken a complete 180. Callisto just lives for attention, which I think is honestly why she puts up with being a lesson horse in the first place. This is everyone's favorite old man, Raven, or Flying Across the Field. We're unsure of exactly how old he is, but trust me, he is definitely past his prime years. He's an English thoroughbred gelding and such a patient, sweet boy. Raven's actually been at Firefly Fields the longest, about 15 years, so that definitely gives you an idea of how old he is. You might recognize him from my winter vlog in which he had a vet visit and was diagnosed with arthritis. Even in the months prior to his diagnosis, he hadn't been ridden very much due to his age, so we decided that the best thing for Raven would be to retire. He certainly deserves it after being in the lesson program for so long. We do currently have space for a retired horse, so he'll be enjoying his retirement here at Firefly Fields for now. Speaking of Raven, this is his best friend Amber, or Leaves of Autumn. We turn them both out together quite often since he seems to really enjoy her company. Amber is a 19-year-old English thoroughbred cross mare. She's also been at Firefly Fields for quite a while, around 10 years. Despite being on the older side, we do still use her for lessons since she hasn't really shown any major signs of aging. She is pretty much unspookable and very reliable, which is why we use her for a lot of lessons with children. Amber is one of those horses that's just kind of there. She's a constant here and we appreciate her for it. Next is another one of the 3 horses that recently joined the stables, Blitzen, who is a Shire English thoroughbred cross. His show name is Walking with Poise. He's a 16-year-old gelding and just the most sweet, lovable boy. We bought him from Jorvik Stables, which is where I used to ride. I'd ride him during lessons on occasion before I got Teddy, so we were already acquainted with each other before he even came here. The thoroughbred in him makes him a pretty fine jumper, so we do use him for a lot of jumping lessons. You know the saying, gentle giant? Well, that perfectly sums up Blitzen's personality. You'd think that because of his size, the kids would be a little nervous around him, but his kind demeanor actually makes him a favorite around the barn. With all the treats the kids have been feeding him, I'm gonna have to start exercising him extra. Peaches, or Sweet Delight, is the final new recruit I have to share with you guys. She's 11 years old and a halfling or quarter cross. She's become infamous around the barn for being a treat thief. You cannot leave any treats unattended for even a moment with her around. Her favorite treats at the moment are the Cobby Cravings treats from Fawn Lake Equestrian Center, which I actually recently became an ambassador for. For more cute pictures like this one and updates on the horses, feel free to follow my Instagram, which is linked in the description. Back onto the topic of Peaches, if you guys watched my horse shopping video from last month, you'll know that her ground manners definitely aren't the best. Since bringing her home, we've been working diligently on fixing that. She still runs away whenever anyone tries to catch her in the pasture, but she more than makes up for it with her incredibly smooth gait and determined attitude in the arena. Peaches is just the perfect mix of mischievous and hardworking, and we love her for it. This is Mabel, or Shooting Star, a 14-year-old Clydesdale mare. Yes, she's named after Mabel from Gravity Falls. Since coming here in 2018 from the Silverglade Horse Market, she's pretty much been the social butterfly of the barn. We turn her out with a lot of the new horses since she seems to help them feel more at home and bring them out of their shells. Mabel's also very vocal and loves to eat. If I'm even a couple minutes later than usual to feed the horses, she will throw a little neighing fit. I think the best way to describe her is she's like a little pony in a big horse's body. Like, Mabel doesn't realize she's a giant Clydesdale. She spooks pretty easily, but she isn't necessarily a nervous horse. Despite being very outgoing while at home, she does get overwhelmed and anxious whenever visiting a new place. She's still a cutie though, and a very precious member of Firefly Fields. Eclipse, or Diamond in the Rough, is a 13-year-old Arabian mare. Since officially joining Firefly Fields as a lesson horse in 2019, she's made it very clear that she is the diva of the barn. She absolutely thrives off of attention and will get upset if ignored. Eclipse also gets weirdly jealous of other horses. If she sees someone lead another horse out but she herself doesn't get to go along, she'll start neighing and she'll throw a little fit. She also gets annoyed if you, for example, pet the horse in the stall beside her but ignore her. I know, Eclipse sounds like such a lovely horse to have around, right? Well, she actually used to belong to one of our past boarders who rode competitively. She was bred to be a show horse and have all eyes on her, which was great for what she was doing. However, her owner had to move unexpectedly and was unable to take Eclipse, so we decided to buy her. Typically, we lease out this majestic mare, but for now, since she's between leases, she's being used as a lesson horse just to make sure she's getting all the exercise and attention she desires. I just realized the last few horses I talked about were all mares, so next up I'll share with you guys the final gelding we have here, Nebula, or Beyond the Stars. He is an Appaloosa and 10 years old. He actually joined Firefly Fields only a few months before my arrival. Just like Mabel and Callisto, he was purchased from the Silverglade Horse Market. Nebula is such a bundle of energy, and his absolute favorite things to do are just running around the racetrack and playing with other horses in the pasture. He's a little bit of a klutz, and he has walked right into doors and walls on quite a few occasions, but despite being a big goofball, we still adore Nebula. Lastly, we have Lilith, or Angel Wings. I'll keep her explanation short and sweet, just like her. Lilith is a 12-year-old Icelandic mare. She's currently being leased out to one of our riders. The main reason I'm even including her in this video is because her lease is almost up, so you guys will be seeing more of her very soon. Lilith is extremely mischievous and loves causing chaos wherever she goes. Lately, she's become infamous around the barn for breaking out of her stall and poking her head into any and every place she doesn't belong. So yeah, that's Lilith for you. I really hope that this video was helpful but also fun for you guys to watch. I plan on making vlogs for a long time, so I figured it would be useful for you guys to know more about the horses I feature in those vlogs. I'm so excited for the upcoming year. I have tons of content planned, so feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see that. Also, check out my Instagram and TikTok for more content from me. Those are linked in the description. That'll be all for today. Bye!